You've been lifting heavy weights for many years.
Indeed, sir.
Now that you're in your mid-40s, are you still seeing gains in strength and muscle?
Well, yes, I am. And as a matter of fact, I think one of the key kind of measurements of this is only a couple years ago I set my personal all-time record for pull-ups. A couple years ago.
Dang.
Maybe a year or two ago.
How many did you do?
63. Yeah. So, but that being said, obviously, you're going to go up and down. So, and you can't continually set records on a daily basis. So what do I do and what's driving me? So what I do is I'm constantly kind of going from goal to goal to goal. And I get on a path where I'm trying to do something. And I'll get into something, I'll read an article or I'll see something and I'll go, that looks cool.
Right.
That looks hard. That looks like a challenge. Or I don't think I could do that, but I'm going to try.
Right.
So I'll say, okay, you know what? Man, I haven't deadlift heavy in a while. I'm going to get my 500-pound deadlift on. And so I'll just start focusing on the deadlift. And that doesn't mean I'm deadlifting every day, but I'm starting to go heavy.
Right.
Really working it. I'm starting to maybe I'll be deadlifting a little more often. I'll throw it in another day, and I'll stop a little bit of that sprinting or a little bit of that high rep stuff,
Right.
and I just start spending more time deadlifting. And after a while, maybe a month goes by, month and a half, and I get to where I want to be. Now, so let's say I get to 500. Get my 500 deadlift, feeling good. Now, I could say, you know what? I want to get 525, right? I could say that.
Yeah.
But if you think about what I'm going to have to do, and anybody that lifts weights at all knows that the difference, like the higher you go,
Right.
the harder it is to increase a little bit more. And really, what are you getting out of that?
Yes.
Like in the real world, big picture, what are you getting out of an extra? You got 500 pounds you can deadlift. What are you getting out of an extra 25 pounds?
Yeah.
The answer is not a lot.
Right.
The answer is no one will ever know the difference between you at 500-pound deadlift and you at 520 or 525. No one's going to know that difference. When they roll with you, when they look at you, they're not going to know. And you will have to sacrifice other parts of your physicality in order to get there. You're going to be slower at sprinting. You're probably going to be heavier, so you're going to be able to do less calisthenic workouts or less repetitions in calisthenics. So I'll get there, and then once I get to like that good goal that I'm looking for, then I'll just shift to another goal and I'll start looking at something else. And whatever it's going to be, a certain number of, a 20 rep squat routine at a certain weight, I'll start heading towards that, or a certain number of muscle ups in a certain number of time, or whatever the case may be, I'll do that. And that's what I've been doing for many, many years. And I never go so far down one path and become so specific that it takes away a bunch from the other areas, because at the end of the day, I want to be well-rounded.
Yeah, I think that's a mature pursuit right there. Because when you're young, you want to, not you like everyone, but I'm just saying it's pretty general, pretty typical that when you're young, you want to you set these, now I want to bench the most I can possibly bench. And you'll go, or the deadlift, for example. If you get 500 when you're younger, you want to get that 525.
Yeah.
You want to get that 535. You want to get that 555. And you don't really see the big picture. You don't see that not only, you're going to have to spend so much effort just to get that little gains, which no one's going to be able to tell unless you're in a competition or something like that. It's different. But not only are you spending that much time, you're avoiding time you could be spending developing other aspects of your fitness, if you're talking about working out. So I fell into this. I fell into the same thing about a year ago when I was never really into like conditioning in the gym. Like muscular conditioning and metabolic conditioning, never into that. But once you do that, you find that, dang, there's so many gains I can achieve doing this type of stuff. When, I achieved the gains when I was young, lifting weights and getting this big bench or big muscles or whatever. But when you're talking about like your physical body and fitness and stuff, gains in strength and muscle, there's almost endless ways you can develop strength and muscle.
Or physical conditioning, you mean? Physical conditioning as a whole.
Yeah. So strength and strength is, I mean, I know strength is defined, but really when you kind of talk about strength, that's a general term. Like you can even say his distance running is strong. Like he has a strong aspect of his game or whatever.
We know that's not true. Distance runners are usually not strong.
Yeah. But we'll just say his game is strong.
Just say his conditioning.
Like, it's good or whatever.
Is I guess what you'd call it.
But either way, gains just in general, and the more elements of physicality you have developed, the better off you're going to be.
Absolutely.
So yeah, if you so a lot of times when they talk about gains in strength and muscle, that means the numbers, 500, and now I'm getting I'm mid 40s now. Am I still getting gains in strength and muscle? But there's so many other gains to get in all kinds of different physical activities. Yeah. And like I said, that's the mature way to pursue it, is to pursue all those things and set a cool goal. And when the diminishing returns start to come about, then you shift your goal again. And then at the end of the day, you're going to, not the end of the day, but the big picture, what you're going to end up with is this fully developed physicality that applies to way more things in life than they would if you're just trying to get that bench up or that deadlift up. So yeah, your pursuit, that's a very eye-opening thing. I think I fell into it, but the way you put it, I think that's very important, especially when you start to get older. When functioning overall is more important.
This is not something that I just started doing when I got older. When we were young in the SEAL teams, we would do this. We'd be like, all right, we're going to get to bench 300. Once we were benching 300, we'd say, all right, we're going to go, and we'd be doing things like, hey, we're going to do the 6 mile run in X amount of time. And then we get that, and we'd say, oh, we're going to do 50 pull-ups. And then we get to that. So we've been doing this for a while.
Yeah, and I think that, I'm sure there's a lot of people that actually conduct themselves like that. Yeah. Like I know Tim Ferriss kind of does that, and just even more so than just in exercise, just in a lot of in life. He'll do that. He'll set a goal, he'll experience it, or and then he'll shift it and do something else. And there's guys who they kind of devote their life as almost like a hobby, but just a part of their life. Well, every year they'll take on something new. Yeah. They'll be like, I'm going to learn the guitar just this whole year, and then next year it's something else or whatever. Yeah, and more so than I'm not necessarily saying that I think it comes with age. I'm just saying that's a mature way to get gains.
It's a smart way to run your life.
Yes, very smart.